Welcome, y'all, to Empower You NOLA, man. We got another good one, man. This is one I've been anticipating because he's been on this platform before. This is not the first time he's been on since he's been elected. We have done multiple videos on this platform, so I'm excited to ask him some more questions. Not coming from me. No. These questions are coming from the community. So let me introduce him. I know he needs no introduction, but this is Councilman Freddie King, born and raised in Algiers. Went to Shaw High School. I'm not going to hold him against him because I went to Holy Cross. You know what I'm saying? I used to try to let Shaw have it every time I had a chance. Try. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Again, went to Shaw High School. He graduated with 2010 in law degree from Southern. Then he started his own law firm. And he has a beautiful family, beautiful wife and kids. They still live in Algiers. Everybody's in Algiers, so we appreciate him. He's on his first term as city council, man. So, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Always. So, again, I'm gonna jump straight into these questions because these questions come straight from the community. Okay. I try to take my bias out of it, because I know you. I know the work that you've been doing in the city, and I appreciate it. So, I just want to start off with this. The first question is this: so, what strategies for ensuring equality in how the city services are developed across Algiers neighborhoods? So what strategies you have to ensure that the equality that's going to go on in your district?
As it relates to city services, look, one of the main things that makes a council member, anybody successful, is being boots on the ground, walking the streets, talking to people, going where the people are. That way you know what's needed. Every neighborhood doesn't need the same thing. Right. Some need different things. Some need the same thing, just more than others. So you have to go knock on those doors, not just when it's campaign season. Go to the schools, go to the senior centers, go to the parks. My kids play at Nord. I coach at Nord. So I have an idea of what's needed. That's how you ensure who gets what, and then you can determine. Well, that's how you ensure what's needed, and then you can determine how do you give what park or what neighborhood the services they need. But you got to be boots on the ground. You can't sit high and look low. You can't be in your desk, be behind your desk just answering emails. You gotta put boots on the ground. And you got to go out there and meet the people where they are.
And it seems like your district has, Algiers. You have the French Quarter, part of the Marigny. Like every neighborhood is definitely, like you said, it's going to be something different. Algiers is going to be something different than I'm sure the deep French Quarter or Decatur and all that other stuff, and those people feel like that's their home, that's their neighborhood.
That's right.
So you have to talk to everybody, just like you said.
You have to talk because the West Bank has several different neighborhoods. They're all different. The East Bank is very different from the West Bank. So you think, I tell people this all the time. I have 5 kids. I don't treat all my kids the same because they have different wants, they have different needs, they have different interests. But I treat them all fairly. I treat them all equitably. I make sure what I do for one, I do for the other, but just in a different way to make sure I'm meeting their needs. So the issue in Bywater on Port Street is totally different from the issue. Can be totally different from the issue in Tall Timbers. It may be the same, but you wouldn't know unless you go out there, you answer your own emails. I just do pop-up ride-arounds in the district and just see what's going on. We may make it a family day out where we're going to different parts of the district. That way I'm spending time with the family, but I'm also saying, okay, this is what they're talking about over here, or this is what's needed over here. It's different from over there. But so basically just going out, being amongst the people and seeing for yourself, being boots on the ground.
I appreciate it. All right. We're going to jump into the next questions. I'm going to keep these going for you. Let's see. So the next question is this from a community member. They asked, what are your top priorities for improving the quality of life in Algiers? What's your top priority so far right now?
I would tell you my top priority, and that is our youth. I am a full believer if you take care of our most disenfranchised, most overlooked population, everything else will take care of itself. There's a saying that the rising tide lifts all ships. So if you pour into those kids, that'll make everybody around them better. So I believe in, one, we need to invest more in NARD. People have a lot to say about NOLA, good or bad, but one thing is a fact that they're underfunded. So you improve that, that helps a lot with the issues that NARD has. You go visit, mentoring, being visible in the schools.
Yeah.
Kids have a good way of knowing who's just talking and who really believes it. So they need to see you at their schools. Go and visit the kids at JJIC. Yeah, they may have made some mistakes, but they're still our kids. So you have to let them kids see you, let the kids feel that you believe in them, that you support them. I believe if you do that with our kids, everything will take care of the rest. And I do that. We do that with scholarships that we give every year for Bayou Classic, that we give every year for Essence Fest. We give kids who are from this community, who are in college, we give them $1,000 here to let them know we appreciate it. So they don't have to do anything they don't want to make ends meet where they are. We hire, our office has hired kids every summer to come work in City Hall, so they can see how City Hall works. They can see how City Hall doesn't work. Some of those jobs have led to full-time jobs in my office. So just helping our kids, I believe our most vulnerable population, if you do that, whether it's in Algiers, whether it's in the Garden District, whether it's Uptown, whether it's Lakeview, Central City to the East, that'll make our city a much better place for everybody.
I agree. I've seen you in the JJIC. I've talked to people that's there. A part of the reason crime is down, in my opinion, I have a strong reason why crime is down, is because honestly, some of the efforts that you're doing in JJIC, and that's a fact.
Look, those kids, I don't think people realize they're, for the most part, are going to be back in the streets. I've seen them back in the streets. So it just depends on their mindset when they come back. Do they feel like, man, these people out here care about me, they want me to succeed? Or they feel like, I'm gonna get it how I live. If they don't care about me, I'm in survival mode. So I just believe, again, man, you take care of our most disenfranchised, our most overlooked population, and for the most part, everything will kind of fall in place. And that's children across the board, whether they're in juvenile custody, whether they're not, just pour into them, and that'll make our society better.
I agree, man. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next question.
Okay.
I know you're a busy man. All right, so look, what improvements, this is from a community member, what improvements are planned for streets and draining in Algiers, like drainage? I know Algiers floods a lot in different areas and different parts, and I know a lot of construction is being done, especially on, I know General Maya, they're doing a lot of construction. So what improvements are you planning with the streets and drainage?
I know that came from, they asked about Algiers, but it's important to know we got two parts of the district.
Correct.
And I don't just represent the district, I represent the entire city.
Gotcha.
So in the fall, there's going to be a bond fund, which is going to be on the ballot. We're going to ask our residents to vote yeah or nay on a bond fund. It's going to be up to around $500 million. And about half of that's going to go to our streets and drainage. That's going to be large streets like Tullis.
Yep.
That's going to be some of our interior streets like Berkeley, or some of those, streets that you only know about if you live on those streets. But that's going to go up to the ballot, and it's going to be determined by the residents of the taxpayers, residents of the city. And I'm going to support that because we need it. We need better streets. We need better drainage. We need better sidewalks. We need it all. I'm not going to make a promise that every street is going to be fixed in a year, but I do know, and it's already been discussed, if this passed, some of the streets that are being discussed are Tullis, which we know is a major thoroughfare, which is in bad shape, Berkeley, and there are multiple, which the interior streets, East and West Bank, throughout the city, that are scheduled to be fixed. But I'm going to support that bond fund, and with those funds, you're going to see an improvement in your streets and in your drainage.
When is that going to be on the ballot next time? Do you know when?
This
October?
Fall. I believe in November.
November. Okay. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Maybe when we get closer to that, I can have you come on and talk about a little details so we can get to the people, so you can let them know, like, this is the ins and outs, and this is what we're voting for, and because it's important for the community.
And also on that bond fund, it's going to be money towards capital projects, towards just different things. You want to select the municipal auditorium is going to be looking to get support from that. Different parts of the city throughout different districts are going to be improved by those funds. So I think that people should really, I'd be happy to come back on to give us more information on what those funds are going to be allocated to do, so people can have make an informed decision when they go to the voting booth.
All right, appreciate it. All right, so he's gonna be back on again, you guys. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next question. Next question is, you have served one term already in the city council. What significant changes have you made in District C?
How much time do we have?
we got about 3 minutes.
There's a lot on both East and West Bank. I will start on the East Bank first. Okay. You look at something like the push cart monopoly in the French Quarter. So for 50 years, there was only one company who could have a push cart, a food vending push cart in the French Quarter. We changed that. Came in right away, heard from the people. 50 years, it was kind of taboo to discuss it or touch it. We jumped right on that. Something like parklets. Parklets are, there was something that was established via COVID, where you may have a restaurant or a bar. Since everyone can't be inside, they set up tables outside. That was scheduled to expire. COVID was over. But listening to the residents of the city, they enjoyed those parklets. A lot of businesses said, hey, this is a big part of our business now, but people want to come out.
It's more room,
and sit outside,
more chairs and stuff like that.
And on a safety aspect, you now have people outside walking the streets, so people are more or less likely to commit a crime. Because I see 10 people outside sitting down, drinking a beer, or having a conversation.
That's a fact.
I may not break into that car, so we saved that. That helped our small business in the Bywater and Marinate. Go to Treme. Help clean the Treme overpass, where there used to be a lot of homelessness and a lot of neglect. You have a fresh fruit stand. You have one of the best smoothies places in the city. I go there every chance I get.
Yeah,
that's something we've done. We helped save the French Quarter. I'm sorry, the Treme second line culture when they was being tried to be hit with a $5 million insurance recently.
Wow,
we saved that. Going on to the West Bank. Illegal dumping is big in Algiers. We got with City of Gretna partnering with our neighbors.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a transfer station, basically a secure dump site for all Algiers residents for free on the Algiers-Gretna borderline. Never before.
For free.
I mean, the taxpayer, the taxes are going to help offset the cost, but you can go dump your sofa for free and not dump it.
I didn't know that. All right.
If you pass over there right now,
I saw the construction, and I knew I know it was gonna be free though. That's huge.
It's free.
Okay.
And again, going to our parks and recreations, we have a $5 million brand new swimming pool, renovated swimming pool, indoor pool. Never had it in Algiers. My mom does aerobics there, water aerobics there all the time. On. We have Skeletor baseball stadium, another $5 million. That's the home of Zay University's baseball team. More importantly, Carr, Landry, and Noma, New Orleans Military Academy, now have a home for their baseball teams. Before, they was always on the road. So those are just a few of the things we've done on both sides of the river for people young, middle age, our senior residents, that just improve everyone's quality of life.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. There's just a few. Well, we don't have that much time, so I'll take that. Take that. Man, all right. So look, I'm gonna jump into the next question. So the next question is, we're talking about accidents in Algiers, right? And I guess there's a lot of Algiers people was jumping in with their questions, right? Okay. So they have accidents that happen on General de Gaulle, and it's General de Gaulle and Wall. They're saying they're saying like, what can you do to help out with those accidents? They're saying they have 10 accidents per week, according to this viewer. What can you do to help with that situation? I've seen a few accidents at that location as well.
I've seen them happen. My wife was involved in one there years ago.
Yeah.
I seen a lady recently had to crawl out of her car because the airbags deployed, and she had to literally get out and crawl. I've seen cars on the side of that intersection. 10 a week.
Yeah,
maybe. A bit of an exaggeration, but it's a dangerous intersection, and there are multiple accidents a week there, no doubt. So I've discussed, so just to kind of explain how that works, that is a state highway. From Berman, which is by the used to be a Payless, now it's a urgent care. From that urgent care going towards the bridge is state highway. From that urgent care going towards Woodland, towards the cutoff, is city.
Okay, I didn't know that.
A lot of folks didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's important to know who has jurisdiction over what.
Okay.
That state part where the accidents happen, well, that part of the Gall is state. So I've talked with DOTD, that's Streets Department for the state, and their director, Scott Ball, the director for this region. They just finished their study. There's going to be a traffic light there.
Come on.
Right. So if you're crossing the Gall, coming on Wall, crossing the Gall, going to towards General Meyer, it's going to be a red light right there. If you're leaving Wall, going towards Waffle House, you're no longer going to be able to go across. And only make a right turn.
That's a bunch
of lanes. You have to go down Shirley and maneuver around Shirley to make that eventual U-turn.
Gotcha.
So those are things that's going to happen. Now it's important to understand there's going to be state funds used. It'll be about $2.5 million, also on a state timeline. But that is the plan as a result of the study that I've been advocating for since day one, because I've seen that happen. The accidents happen over there often. And it's been happening for about 10 years. It's gotten worse. And with more people coming down the Gulf from Bell Chase, going to be more traffic. Well, you would think
more cars, more accidents.
It's something that's going to happen. Talked to Scott Ball yesterday. The timeline is a bit in the air because you just have to put out the bid. Still have to design it. But things are happening. It's just a matter of how fast.
Listen, so that's something I didn't know. I know that's something that y'all didn't know. Going across those 4 or 5 lanes is tough, but now they're gonna have a stoplight. Mind you, it's on the state's time, right?
That's
so
right.
if we want to hold somebody accountable, we could definitely, try to reach out to the state as much as we can.
And also hold me accountable, because although I never say what I can do, I never say it's not my job, but what I can do is say, hey, state, we need you to move a little faster. Hey, state delegation, put a little pressure on the people that can make this happen. But it's not the city's timeline. It's not the city's money that's going to make it happen.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I appreciate it. All right, so next question. The next question is, when will the French Quarter start to limit car access?
Again, well, not again, but it's all about talking with community. It's all about talking with NOPD. Those are the people who are there, who know the ins and outs, who know how to protect individuals there. So there is really no timeline on limit car access. Talking to residents and businesses in the quarter, there is not a consensus of that car access should be limited. I talked to some people. Actually, the majority of people I talked to said they would just like to see during certain events, maybe during certain hours,
They shut the quarters down.
Not the quarter, but certain spots on Bourbon.
Okay.
But there is no plan now to totally limit vehicle access to the quarter or on Bourbon. People need to sometimes forget that Bourbon Street in the French Quarter is also a residential neighborhood.
It is. I forget that sometimes.
So I talked to a lady. She said, I'm in my 80s. I got to walk the extra 4 blocks with groceries because it's a possibility of shutting down Bourbon Street at a certain intersection. People who say, I work in the French Quarter, so now I got to park and walk an extra 4 or 5 blocks, 3 o'clock in the morning when I get off.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. Businesses say we can't get deliveries because of if you limit access. So working with NOPD, working with that leadership and listen to the community, what I've been told is that the residents are saying, business like, we understand there needs to be some changes, but just totally limiting the vehicular traffic may do more harm than good in the long run. So I think things are still being looked at. There's no timeline, but I don't want to get a false impression that there'll be one day in the near future where there's no cars in the French Quarter.
And especially because the resident, the people who live there, the people who work there, the people who own business there are kind of, I mean, didn't come to a consensus yet. They still trying to figure it out. They still, some people for it, some people against it, it seems like.
I could honestly say I've talked to more people who realize a change needs to be made,
Right.
but are not in favor of drastically limiting vehicular traffic.
Okay. Well, we gotta listen to the people, right?
You work for the people
who
live in that community who are mostly affected. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So my next question is this: Will Freddie King continue to oppose the bus rapid transit lane on the CCC? What is? I didn't even understand that, to be honest with you.
Right.
But they asked it, so I thought it was my due diligence.
And I'm glad that it's asked, so I can just give some more context.
For sure, please.
So, the bus rapid transit is an idea of connecting the East and West Bank and making public transportation, mainly RTA, more accessible, more reliable for everyone.
Okay.
How it was originally proposed was the HOV lane would be strictly for RTA buses and let's say school buses. Do I oppose that idea? Yes, because the time that was proposed, the HOV lane was down for construction, maybe a year or so, maybe like 2 years ago, and that traffic on the bridge was all the way to, like, for those who on the West Bank, to like Stump Boulevard, 24/7, because HOV lane at that time was closed. So if you make the HOV lane close all the time and only open for buses, you're telling the hundreds of thousands of car drivers, you can't use the HOV lane.
Right.
So I'm not opposed. So to answer that question directly, I've never been opposed to the BRT system. I'm opposed to how it was presented to the community without any input. So you want to make that HOV lane what it's supposed to be now: carpools, service vehicles, first responders, and buses. I'm for that, and no one's against that. But to say that lane should be only for buses, I can tell you a lot of people don't think that's the best idea. A lot of people who rely on that carpool lane to go to school, to go to work, they will not think, and they don't think that's a great idea. And you also have to keep in mind that that bridge, that HOV lane, although we live in Orleans Parish, it services Jefferson, Plaquemine, even out there to St. Charles Parish. And you're going to put everybody in a log jam, a traffic jam, if you have this HOV lane strictly for buses. So I don't oppose it, but I think the way it was presented was done without any input from the community, and it didn't keep everybody in mind. We want something that works for everybody, and making the HOV lane strictly for buses doesn't keep everyone in mind. It should be carpools, it should be first responders, and it should be buses. And we definitely need, sometimes it's just a dirty word to people, need enforcement.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people by them just one.
I did it before. I'm gonna be honest. I did it before.
Occupied vehicle. Well, a single occupied vehicle on the HOV lane. That's not who it's for.
Facts.
So you're making it irrelevant now, because not you, but
if
you get 50 people on it when a single occupied vehicle, well, it's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for that bus. It's for that carpool lane. So we just need some more enforcement. But I'm for it, but it has to
make sense.
It has to make sense, and it has to work for this entire area, this entire region, because that's who uses it.
Thanks. All right. So the next question, I've seen this on the news a lot when it comes down to the multifamily housing near English Term. So can you tell us a little bit about it, what the process is, for it, against it, or whatever, how that works?
This came about a couple of years ago. And let me just take some time to lay some facts, not to point the finger or take shots, but to lay facts, how they've been presented to me, and as how I know them. Developer purchased some land near English Turn. Is really in Lower Coast Algiers. The most noticeable subdivision is English Turn, but there's also subdivisions that is closer to. Okay, Lower Coast Algiers has thousands of residents, and that, so 406 which is a state highway, goes for miles, and there's houses and businesses
Mhm.
all along that.
Mhm.
So just to put the facts out, I didn't receive any property owner or business owner. I didn't receive any communication from anybody saying we support this. So I'm listening to my residents.
That's your job.
That's the job.
Mhm.
Sometimes in certain situations with land use, you have like 50-50, 60-40. There's some people against. I didn't receive, I didn't hear from anybody in Lower Coast who was a property owner or a business owner saying we support this project.
Mhm.
And it never was anything about um, anything other than it's too dense and the infrastructure currently isn't there. The drainage, the streets, playgrounds, none of that is there. So this developer's original idea was it was pitched to the Lower Coast community, again, thousands of residents, that they want to put luxury condos
Mhm.
near English Turn.
Correct.
That was the website is still up. It's still one time it still said luxury condos.
Mhm.
It was being marketed to people who want to downsize from a home in English Turn or want to eventually move into that community, into the English Turn or to the Arbors community, but want to live there first. Luxury condos. Residents said, look, 300 units is just too dense for this area. I mean, if you've been back there, there's wild hogs running
sure.
across the street. There's deer. There's it's a
Wildlife for sure. Yeah.
very rural, wildlife heavy community. So people are saying 300 units of anything, condos, multifamily condos, low income, is just too much. Developer kind of repackaged that idea and said, I want to do affordable housing. People said, still too dense.
Mhm.
Now, and this is my appreciation of it, that gave the developer the opportunity to then sue on basis of fair housing discrimination. In my opinion, it's more about a dollar than putting people in a safe place to live. And here's why I say that. The city says they want all residents to be within a 10-minute walk of a park. If you're saying you want to put, it's the developer's words, not mine, low income residents in this environment, and the closest park is a 45-minute walk to Bell Chase, how is that beneficial to the people in that environment? If you're a developer and you want to put individuals in that environment, you want to make sure there's a bus line. There's no bus line back there. There's no school. The closest grocery store is in Bell Chase. It's about an hour walk to Bell Chase. There's no pharmacy, no hospital. So it was just too dense and the infrastructure isn't there. But when you now claim affordable housing, that gives you the opportunity to sue. And you can sue for anything, you know that.
For sure.
And that's what it is. And just to, I think actions speak louder than words. I've approved and assisted with developing affordable housing throughout the city, Bywater, the St. Bernard corridor, in Algiers. We actually, during that time, approved affordable housing across the street, across Highway 406, where developers said we want to build homes for people. And he was like, I'm going to make it affordable. I'm going to put them on just different governmental assistance programs.
For sure.
So it's fine with that. It's needed. We're fine with that. And I've been on record saying this developer, if they are truly passionate about affordable housing, which they say, I take them at their word, well, build it. Build houses. Build affordable houses right. You can do that right now. Nothing's stopping you. But I don't know that it's available to do it if that was the cause and people would support it. But the original proposed project was all about density, not being in line with that community, and about the infrastructure not being there to support that proposed project.
Well, that's all we could do is go on what the people see, what the people want, that live, that And I understand about the bus lines and things like that, right? I mean, that's they don't have a car. Like, how they going to get back and forth is without a public transportation and stuff like that, which is huge for me.
That's a concern. If there's a call for service, it's going to put more strain on the already strained police department.
That's a fact.
If you need to go to the grocery store, you're going to walk an hour to Bell Chase
and then an hour back,
or you're going to walk across the Woodland Bridge.
That's unsafe too.
Or if you want to go to the park, where are you going to go?
Yeah. I mean, I think you answered that question for me.
I just want to make it clear: no one's against affordable housing. It just has to fit, and that's it.
All right, y'all. We made it to the very end, y'all. We made it to the very end. This is the last question for Mr. Freddie King. The question is this: they're talking about blight going on in Algiers, mainly around Sullen and Mamas, right? They say they watch kids, get picked up from school buses in that area, and they don't think it's safe. They're asking, when are you going to make these property owners? When are you going to hold these property owners accountable, so we could try to make that more safe for these kids and everybody who's living or stopping around there for bus purposes?
So I'm very familiar with that area, right there in the cutoff. I've talked to the principal of the school down the street, Elon Academy, fine facility, great leadership there. They're very concerned about their kids. I think it's important to realize that in my 3.5 years, we've gotten rid of over 100 pieces of blight in the city. We've tackled small blight, like a single shotgun house. We've attacked overgrown lots. We've attacked places like the Gall Manor, which is several multi-story buildings of blight. But it is a never-ending race. When you knock down one house, then that grass is going to grow. When you cut the grass here, you got 5 more lots that popped up with overgrown grass, and it's hard to get in touch with those property owners. Just giving facts. You have a property owner who lives out the country, out the state, or no longer is alive. Now you're asking the city to go ahead and take care of that property, so you're putting more strain on city resources. If I could, I would snap my finger and have all overgrown lots cut. I would have all abandoned, blighted properties knocked down. But it is a process that costs money. That department, code enforcement, needs more funding. But I don't want to put funding and money over safety. So I reached out to, I know exactly where that location is, to the property owner. It was clean for a little bit, but without staying on top of them, sometimes people go back to their old habits. So we'll reach back out to those property owners. But I also will say this: there's a lot of dumping that goes on there in other parts of the district, other parts of Algiers. Sometimes it's outside the residence. You've mentioned when you've posted.
I've posted
people from
Gretna, people from Jefferson Parish coming in.
It's people in our community that do it. So we should police ourselves. When you see somebody is dumping, and they live in Algiers or they live in a city, don't do that. All you're doing is making it harder for us to have a safe, clean environment. Now you're costing us money because we got to send sanitations out there to come pick it up. So let's police ourselves. And those people who are watching, who come from outside parishes, they're being arrested.
That's a fact.
They're being prosecuted. I'm going to court to make sure they're prosecuted, because I don't like the idea of people coming into our community dumping. But when we go to Gretna, we go to Bell Chase, it's zero tolerance.
This is that.
So we need to also have zero tolerance here. But for those slumlords, those people with blighted property, we're going after them. But unfortunately, it does take time. No excuse, but we are making progress, and we will continue to bind to that area on Sullen and Mamas.
Listen, policing ourselves that's what Empower You NOLA is all about, right? We all about community, protecting community. Yeah. So if y'all see any illegal dumping, you can reach out to me. I could get to the police. You can call the police.
Call me.
You call Mr. King. You could take pictures of them, take pictures of their license plate, take pictures that's the evidence that we need to prosecute. But let's do it ourselves, and then we can get the justice system involved to prosecute. But let's police ourselves first.
Also, I just want to say that we're talking about illegal dumping. I see it a lot on cable and tellers, and it's not a bag of chips. It's furniture. When people have been evicted, the landlords, they hire somebody to come out and they empty the stuff on tellers, they empty it on cable. When they renovate the properties, they put the sheetrock on. I've seen dozens of toilets lined up.
Dang.
And we've had to call sanitation. And I asked the director of sanitation, how much does it cost just to clean up illegal dumping? It's in the millions every year. So you talk about millions that can go towards streets
For
being
sure.
fixed, playgrounds being improved, mental health being improved, mental health programs. So people may think it's not a big deal. It's not. It doesn't affect me. It affects everyone.
Listen, y'all. First of all, I appreciate you for your time.
Thank you.
This interview to me was cool, and they'll be able to get to see it. It's cool to me because when I ask these questions, you are already working on it and could give us updates on what's going on. You will look into it. You say you'll come back to give more information depending on what it is. So I appreciate your time, and I'm sure they're gonna like this interview. And good luck on your re-election.
Thank you. Thank you to Empower You NOLA. Very engaging site, and a lot of people look at it. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
All right.